is the Manley CORE. Been using it for a few months now. Use it a lot on my solo record, Fragments and Holes Volume 1, and on Mark Lanigan's solo stuff. And what I love about it was its ability to immediately let me flow really quickly. I didn't have to overthink anything. It was just there to respond as fast as I wanted. It's really easy and simple to use, which is great. So for me, it's such an indispensable part of my process to be able to have something that just kind of sounds musical at all times and just tweak little things, and wherever I want to go, if I want to kind of distort something or compress something or limit something. This is the mic pre-section of the Manley CORE. The very important thing straight away and very simple thing is the level. This right here is a mic line selector. So right now it's a microphone, and if you were to plug in a bass, so play a DI bass kind of part, or anything that requires a guitar input, for example, if you're using a soft amp or something, you switch it to this, and then you got your line. Next we have the high pass filter. Right now it's set to flat, and this kind of rolls off the bottom end. This is very handy for a certain vocal tone if you don't want it to have too much body. Here's the high and low input switch. So basically, you have an older microphone that is maybe doesn't have the same kind of output as a modern one, or you want to overdrive something, you just set it to high, and then that gives you kind of like an extra boost on the way in. Here is phantom power, which a lot of microphones need. I mean, obviously if you have a microphone that has its own power, then you don't need to have this on, or any kind of like cardioid, regular, 57 or anything like that doesn't need it. And the very last button is a phase switch, which comes in handy when you're doing multi-miking. And just in case that, things are out of phase with each other, you just check that. And obviously, you'll tell if the bottom end disappears and you were right the first time. Okay, the next section of the Manley CORE can be quite mysterious. In this case, it makes it really easy. It's a compression, and it's got a bypass and an in. So right now we're going to turn it on. And as you can see the meter move, it's kind of grabbing me and releasing me really fast. So what I want to do is, if that's too much and it sounds too squishy, you basically go counterclockwise and it's less compression. And then the next simple knob is the attack. So right now I've got kind of a medium attack, so it lets the very beginning part of the attack come in. Unless I want to squash it, I go all the way to the right. And then the last one is the release, is how quickly it lets go of the compression itself. So that lets go really fast, as you can see. And if I go like that, see how much slower the meter moves. And that basically is to taste, but I usually, for most stuff, I leave the release really fast and the attack kind of slow, so that anything like, it's got kind of a musical, is the way your ear would kind of compress things, So it doesn't really have to be a mystery. It's a very musical, very, very awesome sounding compressor, and it's a great part of the CORE. I love it. So next section of the Manley CORE is the EQ section right here. Now this is one of my favorite parts because it's extremely musical. And what I mean by that is that it just sounds good in almost any setting. The low takes away or adds bottom end. The high just kind of lifts the top up or darkens it. And then it's got a selectable mid-range section where you can go from, basically, technically speaking, 100 hertz to 1K. And if you switch it up, it's 1K to 10K. And then this is the amount that you're cutting or boosting, and this is the selectable, so it's variable. So it's really designed for letting your ears tell you what it's doing. So for example, if I wanted to kind of like get a little more presence out of the guitar, I would kind of boost somewhere around here. I would be guessing it's around 4 or 5. A little bit of that kind of a bite of the strings. At the same time, if the acoustic guitar or the voice seems a little bit too muffled or dark, you just kind of roll off just a tiny bit of bottom end. The high lifts it up a little bit so it has a little more air around it. So it's extremely musical, extremely usable at all the stages, and really powerful to be able to have something that sounds good straight away, for EQ. So here is the limiter and output section of the Manley CORE. Basically, the amount of limiting, like for example, if you were to, boost the signal a lot, So now that lighting up at this totally counterclockwise means you're really close to digital zero. So it's quite a bit of output. Then if we have it less, you basically, as you turn this up, it's starting to limit more. So now it's kind of limiting in a normal way, you know. So and here's your output gain. So this is how you would compensate for whatever, just to make sure you get enough level to your recorder. The release time, you know, from fast to slower. So you can see this kind of danced a little slower there. This is the meter section. It's besides being absolutely beautiful light, you've got 3 settings. One is telling you direct output, main output, and the third one is gain reduction. So here you can see that's how much gain reduction we're getting from the compressor. Compress more, and there you go, 5 dB now. And that's it, Manley CORE.